Twitter will open source all code used to recommend tweets. Wait, isn't this actually a good thing? Wait. Our algorithm is overly complex and not fully understood internally. People will discover many silly things, but will patch issues as they are found. We're developing a simplified approach to serve more compelling tweets, but it's still a work in progress. That'll also be open source. Providing code transparency will be incredibly embarrassing at first, but it should lead to rapid improvement in recommendation. Wait, this is actually a really great thing. Like, why is people making fun of Elon Musk when some of his decisions were not great? But it's not the worst thing ever. Like, this tweet is definitely his most heroic or most understandable or thing that's could be considered a right move. I'm making your any program open source in general is a great move. I mean, look at Blender, look at Unity, or look at whatever, or Python or whatever. Make it in Firefox, for example, making any program open source means that anyone could look at it, make improvements on it, and help out. And generally, also it also means people can learn from it and make duplicates of this site. This is a really great news because it's creating a more free market by Elon Musk allowing and spreading all this information in regards to Twitter's inner designs. I actually kind of was thinking, what if I actually make a website or something? I actually thought about that, and then I think these types of decisions will definitely help out. I think Elon Musk probably realized that in order for he was trying to make money with Twitter and stuff. It didn't go out very well. But this decision is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, this is great news, right? Can't wait to see him post all his API keys. Oh, wait. But yeah, I mean, I kind of forgot why people were dunking on Elon Musk. It's probably something I have to do the past. I mean, he got a handle of Twitter. Then he fired the ethics team, the censorship team, which actually is kind of like a good idea. Like, you guys might also hate me for saying this, but if I was in charge of Twitter, the first thing I would do in order to like make this business a little bit more profitable is to fire whoever's in charge of the censorship. Yeah, it means that we can't look at every single aspect of Twitter and have a tight control over it. But having a tight control over such a large platform is kind of a bad idea. You know, you can't just be the angry soccer mom in this entire giant website. Yeah, it kind of sucks to see that Elon Musk deleting journalist tweets or tweets of people making fun of him. But I mean, he's not the worst ever person to handle Twitter, in my opinion. And this is a very positive change that could prove out to be some very interesting implications. If you're embarrassed, you're embarrassed. There's no need to feel embarrassed about stuff like that. It just means that people who programmed this program were not great. And at the end of the day, even if your code is not great, it's still code. It's still one of the best, most popular sites in the world. Chances are the code's not even that bad. And even if it's bad, it will be nice to see some improvements happening, and this is definitely one way to go. I think people are so afraid of getting embarrassed, and they hamper their own development. And I kind of like to see that Elon Musk have some balls. He kind of always had balls, maybe too much. That's the thing. Elon probably doesn't know shit about it, and you can't really blame him because running codes. Like he said, he used to create a video game, but video game coding and Twitter coding is completely different things. And I don't have any recollection of Elon Musk having any knowledge of website codings at all. That's not his expertise. His expertise is on rocket science and I don't know, selling cars or something, which is a completely different market. I mean, I guess people are really skeptical of him, and rightfully so. But it's also probably this too. This is a really bad idea, especially considering how rich Elon Musk is. Firing the people who are on the controlling side or the censorship side or whatever is like at least understandable. Like if you want to make this a successful business, but hiring the engineers, kind of a bad idea. But Twitter becoming open source, that's actually good news. It's worth it to make fun of Elon, but it's true. I mean, it's great. At least he's not like petty enough to just destroy the entire website and hide all the code and the integral parts. Like this could prove to be very educational. And yeah, it also means that people are going to work free. But chances are they're just going to make a duplicate site about this, right? What's up, guys? Nakama here. Today I'm going to be starting a really new series called Scrolling Through Reddit. It's pretty fun. I've been just watching news on Reddit a lot. Just watching by myself isn't just very interesting. I actually think making a video about it is super interesting. Oh god. Ah, yeah. I mean, it's just a wrestling match. Look at her. Wait, what? Man, imagine it was boxing. Boxing is such a difficult thing to watch, especially if you're like children or kids are fighting. Like wrestling is at least bearable, sort of. But I mean, yeah. Um, that's kind of cool. I kind of admit, but at the same time, it's kind of weird, right? I always never really understood the work days because it's free market, right? Like for example, if your work lets you work for 7 days, for example, let's say your work lets you work for 7 days for a week. It's kind of your own fault for you to just keep doing that, especially if your pay is low. You can always quit your job and then like try a new job, and your new job could have a 3 day work. For example, there are certain jobs that kind of does that. It kind of makes me think about this is also why I'm really not super into law enforcement. Is that changing the law doesn't do shit. So let's say you make a 4 day work pushing Congress, and okay, it just makes it really hard for people who are doing business and management to change things because they could just simply reduce the salary and then make everyone work 4 days, which is fine. It's a fine compromise. There are certain people who want to work 5 days or 6 days and want to make money, and it's kind of like getting in the way of their freedom, in my opinion. See, like that's the thing. I'm really not sure if this is the great news because economical factors are weird, right? Like you can't just make a certain rule and that'll just magically make everything better. Like none of the employers are evil people. They're not just like trying to make these people suffer. So that's why they make 5 day work. That's not the point. The point is that well, they need a workforce to be working for them in order for their business to run, and they are also paying these workers depending on how many times, how many hours have they worked, how much they have produced. So chances are it's just going to change work a little bit. If Congress is forcing every single job to have a 4 workday week schedule, then they're just going to reduce the salary accordingly while also having a 4 day work. And remember, if you don't have any way to pay your employees, then you don't run a business, or you just make it so that the salary and the wage is really really low. And like yeah, all of this minimum increasing this minimum wage to so high could also lead to a lot of businesses just crumbling simply because they need a lot of people who have low wages in order to function. There are a lot of businesses who will not just couldn't manage their own wage cost and just crumble. I do think that people, if you're working for other people, you need to especially work for jobs that pay a lot and not just do small errands, especially of errands you don't understand, if you don't want to do. Because forcing yourself to do certain things for money is kind of taxing. It has its own tax. And second of all, well, if you love your work, it doesn't really matter, right? I'm technically doing my work right now. I'm recording, making this awesome new content for you guys about news. It's such bullshit. Yeah, stop working for people like this or something. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it were for me, I will never want to work because a this is my work. Scrolling through Reddit. The other thing is that I usually just do what I want, which is writing web novels, playing video games, going out, just walking or whatever. Those are technically works. I'm doing a certain action. It's just that whether I get paid or not is highly dependent on whether people pay me to do certain things. So if you want to continue having this awesome content for free, then I should highly suggest you guys to support my Ko-fi page. There's nothing there, but you're supporting me, and who knows, might do some videos if you support me with money, I guess. Yeah, all of this bill, just changing the law really changes nothing a lot of the time, and unfortunately, that's kind of the case. Like all of this, like imagine, okay, this is fine, okay. Imagine if, let's say, Congress creates a 3-day work week and they increase the minimum wage to such a high extent, and they force every single business to abide by it. Do you know what will happen? Every single small businesses will just collapse. Businessmen will just stop doing business because businessmen will not stop doing business when it's not profitable for them. And they're kind of right because because it's kind of annoying to pay this high wage to people who are barely working, or people who don't provide a lot of talent to what you're trying to accomplish. So this is kind of a weird thing. It's kind of gets in the way of the free market. Yeah, ladybugs are so cool. Insulin manufacturers have decided that they can still make a profit selling at $45 a month. And all it took was the California decided to make their own insulin. Thanks, socialism. I mean, yeah, it's free market, right? If there's like someone is making a huge profit by gatekeeping insulin, for example, with a lot of money, they just gotta make your own insulin. This is also when it comes to something such as the pandemic. I'm kind of surprised why there aren't any more vaccines, or there aren't any more open source vaccines where they tell you how exactly these vaccines are made. I'm still like unsure how these vaccines are made. I'm kind of surprised there aren't any videos on the internet explaining how these vaccines are made and how to make one yourself. It would be kind of really cool if there were videos detailing that, don't you think? Like all of these lawmakers are just like forcing YouTube and stuff to like censor these videos regarding vaccines and the pandemic. It kind of sucks. To this day, I think vaccine and pandemic misinformation could just make you get your video deleted, or you might lose your child because of that. It sucks. It really sucks. Yeah, I mean, like America's health insurance and stuff is very interesting. I'm kind of wondering why that's the case. I think one of the biggest issues, once again, because of the government rules, right? Like the more you think about it, all these rules and regulations are just getting in the way of people's lives. I mean, think about it. One of the reasons why insurance policies are so expensive and why healthcare is so expensive is because there's no competition. For example, if some doctor is trying to charge really high for my medical checkup, then the only way to make the prices go down is so that we can have competition. And in order to create this competition, then we need more doctors, we need more healthcare people, we need more nurses. And what is preventing people from getting all this competition from happening? What is stopping this free market and fair competition? Oh, it's the government stopping people from and deciding who and who can't and who can and can't become doctors. And I know there are risks to it, but at the same letting yourself being seen by the doctor and getting medication from the doctors, getting help from doctors is a risk, and it's specifically a risk because everything is a risk, and you need to make a conscious and right decision, and you have to hold responsibility on your own and choose your own right doctor. The only problem with America is that there aren't any many doctors. I think there's definitely some certain government regulations that are stopping who can and can't become a doctor. And I think that is a really, really unhealthy way, because if you go to a scam artist and you get your health ruined, that's also kind of you for not doing your own research, kind of people's own ignorance, and these people simultaneously also rely on the government. Instead of saying, "Oh, I chose the scam artist as my doctor, and I got scammed and got my health ruined," instead of thinking that, "Oh, this is my fault. It's my own responsibility as a human being to do my own research properly and get the right medication. I didn't do my research. I got lazy or I got too emotional. It's my own fault." Instead of thinking that, they blame the government and they ask the government to ban all these fake doctors and these scam doctors and those amateur doctors and nurses. And as a result, the government has too much power because people keep saying and supporting them and supporting these bills that are banning doctors and stifling free market. This always had a very easy solution. Just do your own insulin. In fact, I think one of the biggest health insurance problems in America is because the government is interfering too much, and there aren't any good free markets. Like there is certain monopolies that are stopping the free market from flowing. Why aren't there more people like creating their own insulin? It couldn't be that hard. The only reason is that, well, there are rules and regulations that are prohibiting it. Yeah, that's the whole, "Oh, we need to do the government to do this thing." You can always like fix your car yourself, and you can also like learn to take care of your health yourself. Technically, that's also possible. Like relying on the government to do all this stuff, it's kind of creating this whole communism is when the government does stuff. How about you do your own insulin, create your own insulin, and learn how to take care of your own health? Like obviously it's a hard profession, I get it, but at the same time we need more to be educated on this, especially I think. Wow, 18,000 people. Really? North Korea? Really? That's barely even a million. And that's probably because those 100,000 people are probably just entirely your own country's people. And maybe some Russians. Yeah, the drag queen bill is really, really bad. Yeah, the Republicans are kind of crazy. You kind of need to do your own research, I guess. As much as I want to like be fair to all these people and say, "Oh, these are not all Republicans. There are probably some good Republicans." Like all of the Republican policies are just kind of ass. Like they're all super dogmatic when it comes to religion. They're super radical Christian, and they also hold this Christianity and their moral beliefs, and they just try so hard to restrict freedom in a lot of people's lives and create a lot of bullshit regulations that does nothing but hamper people's right of choice. Yeah, the state's kind of weird. Yeah, I thought that Biden, a Democrat being the president, will help, but like I think America is just so large to the point that these states are basically their own countries. And I also kind of didn't do my research. There's probably a lot of Republican in Congress too. Oh yeah, this is such a bad law. It's so bad. Yeah, it's super bad. It's super bad. Like people need to stop relying on the state. In fact, yeah, they keep giving more and more power to these states by having all these regulations. It will be nice to just have only a few specific laws, and the other type of things are free form. People kind of just decide on their own. Especially something like copyright. You don't need any laws and regulations when it comes to the copyright law. You can just have no laws regarding the copyright and at all, and instead the government and the people could decide this is a cultural thing. The people themselves decide what is better and what is not. Like I kind of get it that certain takedowns of sites is necessary because of the law, but exactly like taking down websites for like copyright and stuff is also really wrong. And when it comes to journalists registering with the state in order to publish their stuff, that is such bullshit. Like I'm technically like, do I have to register with the state in order to post this video? That would be kind of bullshit. The state is just trying to have more and more power. Damn it. Wait, what's wrong with globalist bullshit? What is this guy on about? This is not a great. This is not great. Yeah, I don't know. Like Florida is getting Florida and what. Like people keep saying Ohio is the worst state, but like Ohio is fine. It's actually recently, as far as I'm seeing, Florida and whatever it's called is like those Republicans who are in power are kind of fucking up the states a lot and their and people's freedoms. Oh my god, that's horrible. So essentially, you're putting people in jail because of miscarriage. That's horrible. Okay, in regards to people being in jail, one thing needs to be understand. People just kind of go along and follow the law in a dogmatic and dumb and manner that to the point that they kind of forgot why they're putting people in jail. In my opinion, those who cannot coexist in society, those who are actively trying to destroy the fundamentals of society, only those people should be in jail. Like the people who are in jails in America, like entire millions of people, like literal million people are in jail. Like if you want to be hyper practical and like only have the people who need to be in jail and be in jail, I'm pretty sure like all of these jail numbers will go down and there will only be 100,000 people in jail at most. And those people mostly are going to be rapists, serial killers, a lot of madmen. It's kind of stupid how a lot of madmen claim that they're mentally ill, therefore they don't go to prison. That is bullshit, you know. Like even if a certain like political extremist, these people are really like arguably shouldn't go to jail, you know, because you can just talk no jutsu these people into becoming less extremist and explain to them why what they're doing is wrong. These people could change. Whereas people who are mentally ill, mentally unstable and crazy, and have hurt other people because of their craziness, these people are really hard to cure. Therefore, they kind of need to be in prison. And in my opinion, those people who need to be in prison are actually very few people. You know, some like a serial killer, kidnappers, and people who have repeated crime. Repeated crime is really important because it's so easy to just do certain crimes. Like there are so many people who just got angry and fought another person, and that person just ended up dying. It's kind of like an accident almost in that case. Yes, that person has hatred inside them, but you at least unless they like started doing repeat actions, then it's kind of like hard to just put them in jail. These people need to change their laws. They need to change their laws, and also, well, people need to stop relying on laws so much and think straight with their head. Like you could just like all these judges and these police officers and lawyers and prosecutors could just say that if they truly have a brain of their own, they could just analyze the situation and think, we're doing the wrong thing. The law is written like this, but the law could also be wrong. You know, you don't need to for the law to be rewritten in order to realize you're doing a horrible thing like this. That's horrible. Oh wait, 2021. Okay, sure. Thanks, repost. Oh yeah, the 11-year-old forced to give birth is so fucked up. I almost think he's not allowed to talk about it on YouTube or something. People getting in jail because they didn't pay debt is so messed up. It's horrible. Just it's a random comment, but just so you know, it's kind of messed up. Like, why do fucking people even vote for Republican? In my opinion, the only like controversial and like debatable thing I have with the Republicans is gun control, and Republicans are super pro-gun. But in my opinion, even being pro-gun is kind of shit, especially considering the fact that you could, as Democrats, you don't need to use gun in order to rebel against the government. And besides, the government is supposed to be all legitimate when they're voted into power, right? So the people always will have a certain level of power over the government. Republicans are and their policies are just so bad. Like even if they don't actively say that they are that they hate women or they're transphobic or they're homophobic or that they hate atheists or something, they kind of are. They always are. All their finances come from the Christian side of America. All the most freedom restricting options and decisions all come from them. These people need to let go of their stupid religious beliefs. These religious beliefs are getting so out of hand. And they're also racists. So they're afraid. They're trying to like decide who's different and who's not. In my opinion, everyone should be your friend. Unless everyone becomes your friend, then you will never be happy. Oh my god, that's so messed up. Yeah, Americans, right? Man, Christianity is just ruining America in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's kind of really funny how Americans kind of like fight Muslims, and they say, "Oh, these radical Muslims are like stopping it." Like, your radical Christians are getting in your way, like a lot. It's kind of like I guess those Christians are on a losing streak. I'm just kind of like surprised why do people anyone just vote Republican or why does the Republican party even exist at all? Like if the secondary government should be something like else. It would be really nice if the two parties we had in America were the Democratic Party and the Libertarian Party. Republicans are just awful. All the policies are awful. The decision making is awful. The fact that they're super religious is awful. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Where do you even go? Like, I guess going to Canada might be better. Like, at least Canada doesn't have these radical Christians. These are pretty cool. Like, I don't have anything against minimum wage increasing. I don't have any problems with that. I just said that it's not just making everything happy dandy because economy is dependent on many factors, not just raising the minimum wage. I'm pretty sure a lot of businessmen would like to pay their employers a lot more if they could afford it. You know, it's kind of weird to demand that certain businessmen should pay their employees more than they own, because when you're running all this business, you kind of have to gain and get a lot of profit to yourself, so that you don't also let your business entirely go down when it's during tough times. So it's kind of hard to like force or ask of these businessmen and managers and CEO to just have less salary than their own workers. Being a conservative and being a Republican is kind of blah. Like, being a conservative means you don't want change and you want to stay in the same way. Like, life is change, and in my opinion, life always changes for the better. The future is usually always better than the past. It is. It always is. The present moment is always better than the past. That's always how it goes. Even if you guys are complaining about the current state America was, like, it wasn't better in like the World War II, and even the Cold War. It wasn't that great. Black people didn't really have any rights. We literally proudly owned slaves. And in case in my country, I'm a Mongolian, by the way. Mongolians' life weren't great during the 90s. We were under the socialist regime, and we literally, and the government had a lot of control over a lot of stuff, and we didn't have free market and stuff like that, and a lot of our media was being censored, and we didn't have any ways, and people couldn't just broadcast news or television and shows that were from England or the democratic and capitalist societies of other countries. We were just forced to watch the Russian propaganda. So in a way, the present moment is always better. Being a conservative means you're going to be stuck in the past. Yeah, I think these law changes are just going to be a huge lesson. These people are just going to get cling to these changes and think that this lawmaking is better, which is not. It really is not. I'm really hoping that all of these pro-life goers are watching these news. Time and time again, all these newsletters and all these situations are just showing why being pro-life and why caring about the stupid fetus over the mother is a really, really bad idea. Yeah, unfortunately, I think a clash is inevitable. I'm still making this video. All these radical religious radicals are getting in the way. And even if you like consider non-radicals, why did you become a Christian? You know, there are a lot of Christians say that, oh, we're not radicals. So by saying you're not radicals, are you saying that you're okay with this situations like this? Because all the situations happened because the Bible said that killing a fetus is wrong and killing is wrong. This is why killing is wrong is a stupid law. Killing is fine. Killing is completely fine. The only thing is that killing, where killing is justified or not, where the person who did the killing did the right thing, and would that killing have progressed human society, or not just human society, in every life in a better way? Does it evolve life in a better way? Because self-defense is killing. Killing a fetus who was born because of a rape or something like that is it's a good killing. It's a helpful killing. There are certain people who just don't want to have a baby and don't care about their baby. Those people having an abortion is really good because it's better to have people be born that have loving mother and loving family rather than people who don't want them. It's very dangerous to have a baby born that nobody loves them, because those people could usually turn out to be pretty cruel. All of this like dogmatic morality system is just not good. Yeah, and this isn't just like a religious thing. Morality in general, like hard moral beliefs in general, are very destructive. Yeah, that's one of the thing. These Republicans are not letting women vote. They want to go so badly to the Stone Ages, and even in general, they just literally believe that all killing is wrong. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about how all these Republicans are getting into power. Like all of their politics suck ass. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, racist. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really done all the PhD stuff, but I did write a lot of web novels and create my video games. And I'm running a YouTube channel. And I also did some other cool shit too. I learned a bit of programming, you know. It's kind of stupid. Like Asians being smart is kind of true, I guess. In that case, like I almost like I really have this Asian blood in me that refuses to acknowledge my own accomplishments. You kind of like realize that, hey, I kind of like compare myself to a lot of people, like, oh, I can't animate cool fight scenes like Monty, or oh, I can't like write in a super fancy web novel series like one of the best offers in Scribble Hub or online sites or something like that. Oh, my content is not as great as the guys on Trash Taste or something like that. But then I realized, hey, wait a minute. But I'm still an Asian, and I'm still doing my regular Asian schedule of underestimating myself. Like, I really need to stop doing that. Hey, people could just make fun of Joe Biden and stuff, but personally speaking, I think Joe Biden is so much better than Trump. Like, I know a lot of people just have regrets over choosing a certain president and stuff, but I think Biden, after being elected, has not done nothing but goodness. He made the marijuana bill, and so that people can like at least carry a little bit of marijuana in their pockets or something, and they can use marijuana for medical purposes. He's also bailing out a lot of student loan debts. He also, last I heard, was trying to build more housing for families. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff are happening. And his also tweets and stuff are also really nice. Definitely way more nice compared to how Trump was in charge. Holy shit, that's kind of cool. That's kind of dope, Being a little, having a speech impediment or stuttering when you talk is nothing compared to literally being a racist like Trump and being super religious. Like, even the fact of Biden not being religious is a really, really good thing. I mean, he's kind of a bit religious, but he's not Republican levels of religious. It's kind of cool, like how many edits you can do with this. Oh yeah, that's the thing. I really don't know how to feel about this arrest because at the same time, you just like wrote a comment on 4chan, right? You didn't actually attempt to do it, and nobody really. And it's so kind of like awful for the cops to just like go out of their way to do this. Like, don't you have any better jobs to do? It's still technically like freedom of speech almost in a way, and all of this like hate speech, especially the regulation on hate speech, is really difficult. Because for example, what if in North Korea certain people tweeted that the North Korea people have internet? Like, what if there are a lot of rallies in North Korea where people said they need to kill the authority? As much of a cruel thing fighting is, technically killing all the North Korean leaders and making your country democratic might be the only way you have in order to secure a more democratic country. So in that sense, it's not even morally wrong to do such things. And I'm not saying that the fortune user was morally right in trying to kill a sheriff or amassing people like that. But at the end of the day, it's speech, you know. They might be memeing. They weren't like super serious about rallying. And even if like certain people that rallied, you can always like fight those people off, those radicals after they rallied. Before that they rallied, there could be always people could always talk to these radicals, before and help them change their mind before arresting them. Because how long these people are going to get arrested? Like for 10 years, 20 years? That's a little bit of a cruel action in my opinion, especially for saying something on 4chan of both places. This is kind of a really bad situation of the cops interfering in people's freedom of speech. This is not great, in my opinion. Especially because it almost seems like the Elon Musk situation where they only acted because they were trying to harm them, a police officer. If 4chan users try to kill said they will kill the random person, they will act like this. This is just hypocrisy. Like, people are just so concerned about him being a 40 plus and stuff like that. You do realize that even on this Reddit, someone needs to do your moderator, right? Like, it's so awful that these people would make fun of people for being fat and like living on the internet and doing mods. These people are working for free for the goodness of the healthiness of the internet. You know, Reddit moderators and Discord moderators are respectable jobs because they're literally doing it for free, and all they do for all this work that they do for free, and they at the end of the day they get called out by a lot of these mobs who don't appreciate their work. It's kind of fucked up how if you don't work for money, people just make fun of you for essentially working for free. Like, all these people who are on the internet and doing 40 years, like, all these people could just decide to go after money. They could have done that, but instead they decided to work on the internet because they care about the community and stuff. And yeah, call of violence is probably not good. This 4chan user probably isn't the greatest of in the greatest mindsets, because I don't think the call for violence was justified. But here's the thing. I'm not denying any possibility that call for violence is justified. Because there are certain situations, like if you're living in North Korea or Russia, then call to violence is almost justified. Like, it's almost justified. When you are in a dictatorial regime, then a call to violence is almost the single way to stop whatever is happening. I think even in regards to like the US and stuff, like what are you supposed to do against this Republicans, right? Yes, there's the option to just convince a lot of people to vote these people out. That's the only thing you can do. But if that doesn't work, then violence is the only other options. Don't ban me, YouTube. I'm saying that I'm just educating people on this matter. It is true that sometimes violence does fix all of this stuff. You didn't stop Hitler by talking to him. You stopped Hitler by fighting with him. I mean, yeah. That's really funny. But that's like whatever, right? It's just a one person's life being wasted needlessly. It's a stupid compromise. I think killing an innocent person just kind of like goes to show that you don't value human life. It's really bad. It's a very Machiavellian way of thinking things. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. But like, there is a possibility that you could solve this without killing anyone. That's not going to change jack shit. The only thing people need to realize is that these politicians and people in general just need to learn to love and appreciate the life of a human being. If that were the case, we don't need any law and regulation. Stupid law and regulations like that. If a person like not only cared about a human being's life, but also cared about a little bug's life, for example, and saw the value and beauty in that, then that person wouldn't take hundreds of millions of people's life without a good cause. And this is rarely a good reason to do all this. Like even in World War II, where America bombed Hiroshima and stuff, there's probably a better way to go about it. Like it still kind of baffles me why they didn't just at least try to throw the bomb towards the soldiers of Japan rather than the citizens, or at least they could just bomb it once and waited. Yeah, it's a stupid law. It's not going to work for so many reasons. Wait, how the fuck do you shower in school? There is no shower. What are you talking about? There is no shower in school. What? Elon Musk Twitter Blue is breaking European rules about unfair business practices by failing to show its full cost to consumers right away. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, all these regulations fuck 'em. Like if you if you pay any money to anyone without further consideration, you're kind of dumb. I'm sorry. You should value money more, especially when other people value money. I personally don't give a shit about money, but since since other people are not giving me food and shelter for free, then I have to care about money. Not because I care about money, but because other people care about money. It will be so nice if I go to the grocery store and the grocery store manager looks at me and notices me and just gives me food for free. That will be really great. But those people are not going to doing that. Those people are literally going to let me starve to death if I don't have money. So there's no choice for me to care about money. Not that I personally care about money, I don't. And in regards to you guys, you should definitely stop buying anything at all. Like, stop buying. All these marketers and these businesses and these politicians are trying to guilt trip you into buying stuff. You don't buy it. It's free or nothing. And like, who gives a shit about all these stupid laws? Unfair business practice by like showing full cost to consumers. Like, if Twitter gets closed because of stupid shit like that, then you can blame Europe, don't blame Elon Musk. Because all Elon Musk is trying to do is make Twitter affordable. None of the stupid commenters know anything about running an actual business and trying to make it profitable. Twitter was losing so much money, and in order for these products like Twitter and these websites like Twitter, YouTube to be functional, very few people need to be working on it. Because these websites actually don't gain much money at all. I mean, look at YouTube and look at Twitter. Who's paying money towards Twitter? Advertisers. And even said advertisers are only paying money hoping that they will that someone will buy their stuff. If let's say if everyone was super like conservative with their money and they just don't stop spending, like me, I never don't trust marketers, advertisers at all. I use ad blockers constantly, and even when I don't have ad blockers, I just don't buy whatever product all these people are advertising. Like Skillshare is such dog shit of a website. It's there's kind of documentations of it being dog shit. And also, well, why should I buy Skillshare when all my whatever I wanted to learn, whether it be Unity, Unreal Engine, or stuff like that, is free on YouTube? Skillshare is just a shitty version of YouTube. So why should I? And YouTube is free. So why should I ever buy Skillshare? Why should I ever buy NordVPN when Proton VPN is free? There's a lot of free VPNs that does exactly the same thing. And VPNs don't provide you with transparency and privacy because that's not the point. You're just changing your local IP address holder from knowing your information to other people, to those VPN holders knowing what you're doing. The only like big advantage that VPN has is the fact that you can bypass a lot of firewalls like Netflix firewalls or certain subreddit and Discord bans. Yeah, I just use it to do that, especially Discord bans. I kind of wanted to see what was going on in my servers I was banned of. And you might think that I'm super evil for doing that. No, fuck them. Fuck them, bruh. It's not like I'm trying to harass them. I just ghost them and just see how they're doing. It's really helpful in gain for me to gain more information regarding a lot of different topics. Yeah, you can't really blame Elon Musk. In order for like I said, as a business, you need certain things to be more profitable. Nobody pays Twitter. Like, sure, Elon Musk can pay all these workers. It's still kind of pissy off Elon Musk. Especially considering he's the richest guy in the fucking world. I'm not saying that Elon Musk is a great person. He's not a messiah. If anything, all this kind of goes to show that why Elon Musk is rich. Because he's just the type of guy to not have any cost. You should learn from Elon Musk. You should learn that you need to reduce cost as much as possible. You should never pay anyone, not your workers at all. And you should try to make a profit out of something by trying to trick people into thinking that the blue verification notification on Twitter is important or something. That's how you make money. That's how you become the richest person in the world. Be selfish. Don't buy anything. But do try to trick other people into buying your stuff because that's the only way to actually make money. Because that's the thing. That truly is the only actual way to make money. Like certain physical stuff like bread, food, and shelter, you have to buy. I mean, you can like fight your own way into fight your own way and try to steal it, but that will require physical force, and you need to also like hurt other people, which is not great, and it's also unlawful, and it's also kind of awful. But tricking other people into buying your stuff is not an unlawful act. At worst, the other people who, at best, your other people who bought your stuff are super generous people, and at worst, they're stupid. And Elon Musk definitely is a businessman, and you can definitely see all of his actions led to a more successful business, sort of. That doesn't have much cost to it. And he's sort of right in the sense that in order to run these sites more profitably and in the long run, you need to have as low cost as possible because nobody pays for Twitter. And even those people who are paying for verification and stuff, these people are just rich, spoiled kids or rich, spoiled conservatives or whatever. Like poor people are not going to pay for that at all. Poor people like me. See, exactly. It sucks. It sucks so much. The copyright law is literally ruining so many awful things. I literally don't use Twitter at all because all my content is long-term content. And I am only able to upload on YouTube. It's still really frustrating because all these the more I think about it, all these rules and regulations are awful. Like the European trade rules are the most awful thing because if Twitter gets taken down by the European Union because of that, then that's tragic. And the reason Twitter, again, has not implemented long-form videos is because of DMCA takedown. Again, laws and regulations. Laws and regulations are bad, especially copyright law. Elon isn't even the main villain here. I think it will be beneficial for everyone if like certain laws just don't stop existing. A lot of laws just stopped existing. Yeah, like like you have to stand up and fight. Like a lot, like you really need to stand up and fight. Pirate Bay people have stood up and fight against all this DMCA bullshit. Twitter needs to stand up and fight against it. You can't like make your consumers and the people of the world deprived of this awesome possibility of having long form content on Twitter just because of these stupid lawmakers. These lawmakers are just bought by Disney, and Disney is a horrible company. Like Disney is the true of evil. Disney is like such a worse person than Elon himself. Also, it's horrible. Like all these rules and regulations are awful. A tutor needs to just do the illegal thing and just start implementing things that are beneficial to humanity, but against this DMCA. Again, OpenAI, ChatGPT is such a wonderful program, you know. All these AI voice memes of presidents, it's such a great aspect. It's such a great development. What is stopping? What is the danger that could stop the growth of AI? Oh wait, copyright law. These copyright lawyers and these lawmakers are awful people. Disney is such an awful people for supporting copyright law. They just only care about themselves. They don't care about the growth of humanity or the free flow of information and the right of freedom of expression. No, they don't care about that. Disney doesn't care about that.